Welcome back to the channel. Yes, we are on location again, doing a little bit of work, and we are diluting our work with a little bit of recreation. Last time we discussed how the workbook provides such a great lesson plan for the new technician as well as for the instructor. And we highlighted why it would be wise for anyone assembling a repair kit to get out into the field and see what are today's requirements for a field technician. That way, when the kit is assembled, everything in the kit is relevant to what's being done in the field, and there aren't extra products in there that could actually overwhelm the beginning technician. And speaking of the beginning technician, I always like to highlight when I can the very first field repair of one of our technicians. And we have one today. We have a new Mercedes that was delivered to us, and here it is. On the first day of our class, I was sent this photo of damage in the back of a brand new car and this close-up. The challenge for the student's first ever repair is to keep this repair small, which is a challenge for all of us, and to keep it flat and to blend it in the center of that panel. Getting good adhesion on this slippery fabric and getting a proper texture were concerns also. But Juan did a wonderful job for his first ever real repair for a real customer. And speaking of adhesion on these new materials, it's apparent that they're manufactured with a greater slip in the surface. That way, the surface is not abraded from general use. So that's good. Also, the surface tends to repel any stains, and that's good. But it's not good in the eyes of the mobile repair technician because we could have trouble getting adhesion on these surfaces. And that's a predicament that we only see out in the field. You have to be a mobile technician out there to see this firsthand. We know, and they don't. And we know they don't. The next example features a problem that the manufacturer has created. Now, you would think that the manufacturer or even a distributor would be the authority on the subject. But no, it turns out that the technician in the field is the one that has the answers to correct their problem. So I have some miscellaneous aircraft parts to recolor. All of these shrouds for the bases were covered with a leather that turned out to be defective. And so we had to sand them down and to recolor them. So this is the leather that these were coated with. It's a little bit different here in color, as you can see, because this is what was on here and we had to recolor it. But the important thing about this defective leather is that you can see that it was vat dyed a lighter color, which was not relative to the top color. So it looked as though the company that supplies this leather was taking a previous inventory and repurposing it here by picking an aftermarket coating and recoating it. Now this is very stiff. You can see it feels thicker, the coating feels thicker, the leather feels thicker, and it's rather stiff compared to the next leather I'm going to show you. I don't know if you can tell that from the video how that reacts. But the thing is, on these pieces where they were sewed together, the coating was coming off. So we sanded down everything so that any coating that was going to come off is off. And we've also, of course, done the full prepping, which you know is rather aggressive. So anything that was wanting to fail already failed during the prep step. And that left us with a really good coating to change the color. Now here's the color change. This is the right leather here. This is the one, you can see the differences here. So we matched up to this swatch. This leather was vat dyed a very similar color to the top coat. And that's what you would expect to see. The other thing about this leather is it's very supple. It's very soft, and the guys sewing this up could tell a remarkable difference. So we were able to keep probably this thicker leather, stiffer leather, we were able to keep it on the bases and just change the colors. But for the more flexible seating areas, they totally threw away that leather, and they're going with the more flexible, more pliable leather of the right color. So now the bases of the seats will match the seats. And I just thought that that was interesting. Coming from the same manufacturer is how we get to something defective. I was requested to help with this brand new Mercedes just purchased from the dealership. Now you would expect anything that comes off the assembly line to be of the highest quality, wouldn't you? Because these are the people that know. But it's interesting how that it requires someone progressive in the field to correct the problem that they've created. It starts in the field. So we have a 2020 Mercedes. It's a brand new vehicle. And look what we've got. We've got paint flaking off. Coming off on the customer. And here's the driver's side. They want this panel fixed too. So it looks like we may have had a problem from the factory here, because we've got a different color leather in that panel. We have a lot of violet in that panel. Color is coming off. It's shredding. Here is an instance where I was requested to make a custom color match, to color the leather to match the plastic in the airplane. Yet the customer was not happy with the color match. Does he have something to learn from the progressive mobile technician in the field? You can be the judge. The leather was supposed to match this color of Kydex. Okay. And so it does. Let's turn the Kydex. What do you want to do now? Your call. This replacement dash was recently refinished with a product we once did not have. And looking back, we can see how that the failure of a finish caused the request for a new product, and the supplier came through with that. But the request came, of course, from the field. It starts in the field. Do you remember when the finish on these GM coatings started to fail? It's a very thick water-based coating. When the end consumer tried taking a spray can and filling in this gap, he discovered that it was frying the edge. Wherever there's a broken edge here and you use a solvent product, it will wrinkle the edge. One product we had available to us at the time was a water-based spray grain product that we felt would not fry the edge, would not wrinkle the edge, and the grain would help hide the damage. Unfortunately, that product also wrinkled the edge, and so the call went out. What is the problem here with this water-based product? David informed me that there was some solvent in that product. And so I replied, can we get a product that is strictly water base for use on plastics. And he sent me a brand new product to try, and it was a water-based plastic primer. Of course, we have to start with the usual clean and prep, and then with 220 sandpaper, or whatever seems to fit that particular finish, we're trying to bevel these edges. This thick water-based coating is better described perhaps as a rubbery consistency, and so it really does not want to feather very well, meaning we cannot feather this edge down very fine because the coating wants to keep rolling up as we sand. And of course, some guide coat will reveal that edge even better. And our guide coat is comprised of 20% pigment and 80% that plastic primer. In this instance, I am applying the plastic primer in a bead right on that edge. It will dry very quickly and very hard, and it will allow me to sand and smooth that edge down and build a ramp from the plastic dash up to the top of the original coating. That primer actually acts like a glue to hold down the edge that otherwise would want to continue to peel. The beauty of this product is that we can continue to fill and to sand to contour at will. Now I've arrived at the point where I can use the plastic primer to create a heavy texture that will help to hide the rest of the repair area. And the beautiful thing about that application is that the droplets of the texture are strong and they stand up to being sanded. So if we want to square off the tops of the texture with some 400 sandpaper, it works just beautifully. It shaves right off the top. In contrast, a lot of the other water-based texturing products are soft, and they form a skin first, and they stay wet on the inside for quite some time. Not so with the water-based plastic primer. The trouble with the softer products is that before they're cured for a long time, they'll remain too soft and will push over, or you'll bust the skin on it and reveal the wet contents in the middle. So this product here is really a godsend when it comes to repairing these soft touch finishes. The finishes that have a heavy buildup of a water-based coating to give it that soft touch. That certain soft touch that doesn't sand well and it doesn't feather well. But now we have a way to do it. Well, we've had this product for quite a few years now, but it's interesting to look back and see how that a request from the field was responsible for coming up with this product and bringing it into the marketplace. So we've just got a little finessing to do before I'm totally happy. And yes, I'm going to fix those 2 divots you see also. Interestingly, this job was done for an aircraft salesman, and he is now the owner of the entire FBO. This happens to be another dash I did for a retail customer. And of course, I videoed a before and after, just as a reference for the customer. And we have a record of everything having been done to their satisfaction. Well, I hope you appreciate the insights that we've tried to present in these last two videos. And the videos really are in response to what I've observed, and that is the disconnect between what's proposed in the office and what's required in the field. And if we can bridge that gap, I think that would be beneficial for all parties involved. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.